Yeah.
I can so relate to you right now. I just,
Yeah, but see, you are actually sick. Like you can tell that in your voice and you probably are feeling, I'm not sick other than coming off of bronchitis and still on prednisone, but I just
yeah.
I cannot get motivated, like move. And it's just, I feel sluggish. And I'm sure so many people feel this way, right? You sluggish and not able to focus, but I'm doing all the work. There's other things that I want to accomplish that I can't
Oh
add.
yeah.
All I
Yeah.
want to do, to be honest, is I want to sit and hibernate on my computer. I want to be creative and I want to write. I want to do that shit, not all the tasks, all the freaking tasks that I have to do.
True. Well, welcome to Lightworkers Unite, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen.
We're so light and bright and full of energy.
Lightworkers Unite is a podcast and social show hosted by intuitive women, lightworkers, and most importantly, friends, Mayume and Manjeet. Welcome to our podcast, Lightworkers Unite, where we believe there is a lightworker within all of us.
Whether you are a medium, an educator, or a nuclear medicine technologist, there is a lightworker within you, and we have work to do.
This is a safe and sacred place where lightworkers connect, grow, and learn.
And share our light with the world.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is awesome because we were like hesitating to even just record anything. But I think you're right. I think that it is important for people to hear that, we're real people and it's I think it's really normal to go through these phases, where we just feel off and drained and, in my case, just beat down, worn down, sick.
Yes, you poor thing. And I just saw you.
Oh, I know. I woke up that morning. We went out for burgers and beers. Our favorite thing.
I do love it. You're going to have to post those pictures.
Yeah. And we got a lot of work done, actually, for our beautiful Oracle cards. We did a lot of work. And then I went home and went to sleep, and I woke up with the worst sore throat on Friday morning. And I was actually covering this week in the clinic for one of my employees that was sick. Oh. And sounds a lot like what she had. And so I'm wondering if, just.
I hope I didn't give it to you because I wasn't sick. I mean, we didn't French kiss or anything. I mean, let's just be honest. So like we weren't.
We just regular kissed.
Yes, just regular kiss. Yeah.
No, I think it was probably just from, I mean, they've been here when you work in clinics, right? People are coming in and they're sick and they're wearing, you're wearing all the protection and stuff and the masks and all that. But I think it's still just, we're sharing the same computers and, all that stuff. So
better not have given it to me.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think you would have felt it already.
You think?
What the fuck was that with
my voice? I'm on antibiotics. I'm on prednisone. I'm on for the bronchitis. So maybe my shield is already up.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, you were shielded up. But what do you think? Because I feel that way. I mean, I feel that way because I'm run down, but and actually physically sick. But I do totally resonate with what you're saying about just wanting to sleep, like just wanting to like not do the things and just rest. So why do you think you're in that state right now?
Well, so I think there's a myriad of reasons of why I'm in this state. I think I'm in a little bit of overwhelm where there's a lot of different pockets of categories that I'm dealing with my mother, with my business, with the transition of, trying to delegate duties to awesome Rachel. My husband, I've been working on our marriage for quite some time and that's been going great. And then the kid thing, there's just so many pockets of things that have little tasks that I have to deal with. And I mean, sometimes I feel like this post-menopausal bullshit is like adult ADHD. That's what I feel like. I feel like I just sit and kind of spin and then I get nothing done. But I do notice what I want to focus on, is really creativity. Like I want to write. I feel like, I don't know if it's spirit. I don't know if it's just my mind being resistant to all the other shitty things I have to do, all of the life things. And I just like want to be selfish and I just want to write. Or just leave me alone, everybody.
Oh,
Please. I
yes.
want to write. I want to sleep. And I want to be creative. I'm just hankering. There's that word again. I'm
Yeah.
hankering to sit in creative juices and simmer a bit. But in doing so, all the other things fall to the wayside. People get pissed off that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, yeah.
My body's not happy because it's not getting its workout, or I haven't been able to go to yoga and strength training. Well, that's happened in the last month because of my mom. I've been really tied to the house.
Yeah, you really have. And Rocco, how's our sweet Rocco doing?
Sweet Rocco. He also, Mr. Elderly. I'm dealing with elderlies right now. He is, he still can't be left alone. And he can go out by himself now. I have to watch him. I don't have to walk with him. But in case he falls, he can't get up. That's the only thing.
Wow.
He needs a little necklace that says, I've fallen and I can't get up.
He can't get up.
He's out there going, and he can barely bark. I don't know.
Oh my
Mr.
gosh,
Rocco, I know he's good. He's happy. He can't get up.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
Oh.
We're working on it. Rehab's starting soon. So,
Oh, bless
all
him. Yeah.
all the things,
So I just want to say, Mayume, that's a lot.
I guess it is. And
Isn't it a
sometimes,
lot?
I guess. And sometimes I keep my guard, just like all of us, right? I keep just kind of going. And then as soon as I kind of sit and let that down, or even just talk about it, I find that I get really weepy.
Oh.
I get kind of like my eyes fill with water. Just it reminds me of the awesome card that we have in our oracle deck, the Overwhelm. I feel like her floating in that vortex of tidal wave with the water right at my eyes. I feel like my eyes fill up with water when I start to let everything down and start to feel it,
Oh, honey.
It's all good. Believe me, everything is okay. Good. We're all healthy. Everything's fine. It's just overwhelm, I guess.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm always fucking talking about overwhelm. I mean, come on. How many episodes is Mayume's overwhelmed again? Like,
No.
Seriously.
No, I think it's real, right? This is like a real fucking life. This is the thing.
Yeah.
I think the fact that I do think too with that overwhelm card, and I'd be really curious because folks are going to meditate on the card themselves, and they're going to tap into what that meaning, what that word really feels like, what it looks like, what it smells like, what what they know about that word, about overwhelm and the imagery. And I know for me, when I hear that word, it does feel like a tidal wave. It does feel like right when you're going under. It's almost like you really are drowning, but then you can't quite see the light. Like you can't get out of it very easily. So once you're actually in that moment of overwhelm, like when I'm sad, for example, I can try to flip the script and get myself out of it pretty easily. Like, okay, I'm being, silly or sad. I'm just not, I need to let that go or whatever. But when you're in overwhelm, I think it's really hard to shift the gears and get yourself back up. So, I mean, to me, that's what that card means. It means like you've gone under, and I think it just takes little baby steps to get yourself back to where you need to be.
Yeah. Or just someone throw me a life preserver. That would be great.
Shit, girl.
I'll take one of those and then just let me float above. I'll just float above. It's all good. And I don't want it to come across as though, especially for those that want to book a reading with me, all my readings, that's the only time that I don't feel overwhelmed, is because I'm in a different space. I'm not really Mayume anymore. I'm just kind of in that open, free spirit within that space of just openness. And I feel good there. And it's kind of like coming down, back into the thick of life. And you're like, oh shit, I just want to reside with spirit,
I know.
hang out there with the
and I think great distinction, that, when we're working and we're on. And that's a big part of what I think we talk about a lot with Lightworkers Unite is being in integrity with that space. We talked a little bit about this in the last episode about, we can muddy the waters very easily in our readings and all of that. If we are allowing all of that overwhelm to kind of come through, we have to clear the lens. And that is actually, I agree with you 100%. That is my favorite place to be. It is.
Yeah.
I feel lighter. I feel happy. I feel connected. I feel loved,
Yeah.
and it is. And all of a sudden it's like somebody like puts the elevator down to the basement and then you're back in the fucking complex.
Yeah. Where it's cold and dark and damp and shit.
I know.
Oh, but no, life is good. I don't want to make it sound like my life is shitty because it's really not. No. I'm so grateful, right? But it is interesting. And I think and I don't want to generalize, especially for our male listeners, but sometimes females take on a lot with the household and the kids. And then in my case with my mom, and I know I'm not the only one in the world who has to take care of their parents. But it is something new for me that has slowly been shifting into full-time stuff. And and so I don't think I kind of planned it. Just all of a sudden you find yourself in this position. Like, wait a second, I can't leave the house. And we know I'm a bird of freedom. I love freedom.
Yes.
And so, I think it's such a huge resistance. Like I'm battling it a little bit. And then I'm like, fine, if I can't leave, then I'm going to sit here and I'm going to write or paint or doodle or, do graphic design and update my website and get creative and try to find all the ways that I can continue to work in between, readings and all that, just to kind of keep me in a positive high vibe space.
That
means dishes and laundry and dog shit and cat barf. And then,
I just want to thank you for being so honest. I know this is real life shit, and it is lovely when we can come into these, come on the podcast and be like, okay, and let's high vibe the shit out of this concept but sometimes we're just not, no one is there all the time. And this I think is, like back to like that overwhelm card. Now that you've mentioned it, I can't get it out of my head because it feels so like, what if it's okay to be in that space? Like, what are we learning when we're in this space of overwhelm? Like what are we gaining from that?
Gaining. Well, I mean, because that's what life throws at you. We are going to get thrown into the water. And for me, it's really testing me. I feel like I'm being tested on how well I can delegate, ask for help, and really stay on task. And I almost kind of have to dive in. I'm like, okay, listen, let's get submerged. Let's tread some water, Mayume. You can tread. I don't have to let go or panic. I can slowly tread and kind of get through it until it starts to calm down and then I can float.
Yeah. So you're kind of talking about leaning into it.
I am, because I think I do the opposite. I tend to resist, right? I tend to I'm a huge procrastinator. Hello, this is Mayume. I am, and I admit it. And it's one of those things that I don't like about myself, but unfortunately, I will get shit done if I have a deadline. I am one of those, like, give me a deadline and don't worry about how, how or when. I'll have it done by the deadline. But I do resist it. So sometimes I'm like, I just have to say, fuck it, just dive in, just get through it, just do it, kind of submerge.
Yeah. So sometimes that word, like sometimes that feeling of overwhelm then can drive you into action, because of one of the big signs of overwhelm, right, is paralysis.
Yes, that's huge for me.
Right. And so if you're in that paralysis stage in overwhelm, maybe that is one of the things that gets you out of that stopping mode, like
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
breathe, analyze, like decide. Now I got to move. I got to go.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I love
It's
it when our podcasting episodes are about Manjeet coaching Mayume.
no. Look, girl, I'm
No,
doing it.
it's true. It's good, and I need it, and you're so good at this. Yes, and I like it because I know I'm not the only one, and
Yeah.
people need to hear this beautiful words of wisdom from you, and to
Oh.
kind of bring clarity to all of this that we are all going through, this whole life thing. So
Oh,
whatever it is,
yeah. Well, thank
but
you.
yeah, I do. I do agree. It kind of forces you into action, because if not, then I'm stuck in paralysis, and that's where we remain stuck. And
Right.
I'm not joking, like then I'm letting people down because I'm not taking care of the things that I said I would take care of. And I'm not really taking care of myself either. And that's
Yeah.
stuff. So I'm a big in the cycle where I've always been always been a hard worker. I've always tried to manage and initiate and take an initiative on what needs to be done. Right. I mean, I've always felt that way. And I don't know if it's an Asian blood thing, like hard worker. Like I was like, let's go, let's get this done. But I found that depending on the phases of my life and what I'm going through, there's times where I'm like, fuck it, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, and I just want to lay in bed and watch Netflix, and just everyone please leave me the fuck alone. I mean, I really do
Yes.
go through that where I'm like, Mayum doesn't want to do right now. But when I decide, don't worry, it'll all be taken care of. But I just feel like that right now.
Well, because I think there are times when we need, right? Like there's great times in our lives where we're doing, and it's so important. But then we have to, like, if we don't take that strategic time to be, right? How are we being in our life?
Exactly.
Because the doing is taking over how we're being. So we're not really being in our powerful self, while we're doing all the fucking bullshit stuff that we have to do on a regular basis. So
absolutely.
I mean, there's so many this is like a coach's wet dream. So many awesome concepts, right? It's about self-care, right? We cannot give when we're empty. When we're empty, we can't think straight. We develop physical symptoms. We are moody. Like our moods are not like consistent in any way. And then we do feel this paralysis, so it's like maybe that Netflix, right? That night, that day to just really stop and just like let go of all the other stuff that we have to do. It's just a really profound way to create exquisite self-care.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I believe that. I believe when your body is saying and your mind is saying, I just need to like disconnect. That is your body saying, I am empty. My body and my soul energy, I'm empty and I need to fill it up. The key is to get there before we feel like we can't fucking get up in the morning.
I know.
Isn't it? Right. I mean, ideally, right. And that's kind of the whole thing is we let ourselves run so empty that we end up getting this overwhelm, this drowning feeling. And then we're in this position of saying, okay, how am I going to fill my cup? Because I'm garbage. I'm not helpful to anybody. I had to ask my husband this weekend if, because I've been so weak. And I said, William, can you just tidy up the living room, just fold up the blankets and just wipe the counters down. Like just make, if you could just clean it really well for me. Because if I get out there and I see it, not that it's super messy, it's just, I want it to be like clean,
Yeah.
If I see it cluttered in any way, I'm going to feel like I need to get up and do it.
Yeah.
And so it takes a lot for me to ask him to do that. It's the whole delegating thing that you're saying. It's like, I'm going to ask him to do this for me. And he's probably thinking, okay, fuck, that's weird. Like, calm down, man. It's like, it's not that big of a deal. But for me, it is a big deal because then it's what one less thing that I need to like think about and do, So, but if I don't ask that, then I'm going to play the fucking martyr and try, cleaning everything, staying out of breath, getting all tired and excuse me, choky,
Yeah, you poor thing.
But for me, that's
Oh,
self-care. That's me
yeah.
saying, can you help me here?
Yeah,
It's a
exactly. You need
stupid little
help.
thing, but I need it. I really need that.
Yeah, we all
You know?
do. We all need to try and allow other people to help us. Yep,
Yeah.
I agree.
It's
Yeah.
not easy though.
No, it's not. And but it does feel good when you're able to kind of let go of some things and someone actually takes care of it. And you find out they actually took better care of it than you would have. Well, you're like, oh shit, you did that better than I did. Yeah, I love it. I'll tell you,
Oh.
John Corelli, he is pretty amazing. And it happened when the girls were little. I learned what kind of dad he was going to be when I got the flu for 7 days. Dana was 6 months old. And I was in my puffer jacket with 105 fever. And so if she was, when Amanda was 2, Emily was 4, and I could hear the
Wow.
chaos down there and him just handling it. And he took him swimming, he took him for walks, he played games, and I could hear the chaos. And he'd come up every now and then and be like, hey, how you doing? Feeling any better? What do you think? You think you're gonna get out of bed today? And I was just sitting there like, can't move. And I thought, wow, well, one, it made him appreciate what I was doing, right, when he was at work all day.
Absolutely.
And I was managing all them. But sometimes I was like, you managed to still do laundry and you cooked dinner, you took them swimming. I'm like, shit, John. And the house was okay. I'm like, I figured it'd be just a tornado. Yeah. I'm like, well, my God, he kind of did it better than me. So it's so cool that he could take that on. And I know that he could today. He does laundry. He'll cook dinner if I'm not around. So it's kind of nice to have that help. But yeah, it is kind of hard to sometimes ask when we know that we can do it, or I just sometimes just want to do it. I mean, I'm sure you're this way. There's some things you just kind of want to do it, whether it's just the way you like it, right?
Yeah.
How many women out there like to make their beds, right? The whole thing about making your bed.
Yeah. And I know, like, we talked about it in our last podcast about meditation. I really do I love cooking. This is one of the things you and I are, we talked about many times. I love it. I love the process of putting and chopping and being creative. And for me, it's like, oh, I'm going to put some turmeric in this, sauce, or I'm going to try something new. And to me, that is really meditative, and it is really fun. And so, and I'm not a bad cook either. So that, I love and I enjoy the food, so
wonderful.
It's kind of fun to do those things. So I totally get it. Like, those are the things I like to do. I want to do because they are actually really super fun. And it is my creativity. That's the way I,
exactly love it. Yep.
I'm not painting in a traditional way in my creative forms. I usually find food as a creative way.
Absolutely. There's so many. Creativity is a huge umbrella of things underneath it. It's people, it's not arts and crafts and necessarily, it's so much more.
And that's also one of our cards. It's actually one of our series in the Oracle deck that we have. That's going to be super fun for folks to really dive into.
The cover of our box.
I know.
Right?
I know. It is the creativity card. I know. I'm so excited about those bloody cards. I can't wait.
I know. We need to hear. I haven't heard back about like where we're at. So I'm so excited too. So we're going to do another plug, you guys. If you haven't already pre-ordered your Lightworkers Unite Oracle deck, you got to do it. Get it, because we do really literally have a limited supply. So we're just really super excited, and we know that we'll be selling them at our events coming up, our Lightworkers Sister Circles. So if you want to pre-order, you got to go to our Instagram page, and in our bio is the link to the link tree. It'll take you right there to pre-order. So
it's exciting. They're really, there's so much of us, right? Don't you think, Mayume, in these cards? There's just so there's so much of us in the cards. I mean, they're so meaningful and purposeful. A lot of the things that we talk about. So I know we started the call, our podcast, Overwhelm, and the need for self-care, right, to kind of counteract this feeling of overwhelm. how do you feel now after we've kind of chatted a little bit about what's
Oh, yeah,
going
it
on?
always
What do
feels
you
good.
need?
Well, I know that we tend to start off our calls before we even hit record. We're like, hey, let's
Yeah.
check in. How are you? What's going on? And we're usually like, blah, 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 blah. So it's already feeling lighter, right? Because we can release these things. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think sometimes I'm a very vocal person. I'm words of affirmation. So I need to talk, and that's how I connect. And I think sometimes me just letting all of that overwhelm through my throat chakra and out of my body,
Yeah.
just to get it out there, and it helps declutter my mind and my overwhelm. So for sure. Oh, look
love
I
that.
went to pull our cards because I have those photocopies. I mean, when we make
Yeah.
photos of them.
Yes.
Guess when I pulled.
Oh, for fuck's sake,
Can you
self-care.
believe it? Self-care. That's so beautiful.
Oh, can you read
Oh
it?
my gosh.
Can you read the?
Yeah, self-care, number 39. Time for relaxation. Stop and breathe. Do something you love and practice radical self-care. I guess that's what I've been doing today, because I was complaining that I didn't feel like doing
Aw.
shit except for doing things that I love.
Oh, I love that so
love that too.
much.
How cool that I could,
Aw.
have these kind of on standby. I know it's just those, what we were working with, but
Yeah, no, and it was kind of a process, right? So we created the
Mhm.
deck, and then Mayume printed them all out so that we could actually see them and have them like in our hands, just on photo paper.
Yep,
But
just photo
it
paper.
was kind of a precursor to the next step, which was our 10-hour mind meld of
Yeah.
design.
So
Sorry,
fun,
little
yep.
Star Trek Spock reference there. Mind melding. And
You're the
then from
best.
those cards, we really could fine tune all of the series that wanted to be born from the deck, right? And so that is the original, copy that you have there. It's already been morphed and changed, but
Yes.
there's a ton of them that are exactly the same too still.
So excited. I'm so
I
excited.
just love that so much that you picked that beautiful card. And
I know. I decided to reach down and close my eyes and pick one just to see what it would say. Can you believe that? Thank you, Spirit.
yes. Oh, I wish I mean, and you know what? This is our big wish for everybody who's listening today, right? Is self-care.
Self-care, which is actually quite appropriate and in alignment with Valentine's Day, which is tomorrow.
Ooh.
You think about it, right?
Oh,
Loving ourselves, loving thyself, and giving ourselves love, filling ourselves up with the love so that we can love others. Yeah. And that care, self-care, self-love.
Girl, how did that happen?
That
That just went full circle.
It sure did.
I mean, I love that. I love it so much. And I just, I do love that. And I think today that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look for 3 ways that I'm going to provide exquisite self-care to myself. I'm going to say yes to me and no to the other things that are pressing that can wait on my life. So that's my challenge for all of us today. 3 things. What are 3 things that you can do? Yeah.
I like it.
That
Yes.
will
It gets me excited. See, and now my juices are all starting to warm up. I'm like, ooh, what can I do?
Yeah. And the cool thing about this is it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to, go and like, I don't know.
Wax my coochie.
Fucking go for a 10-hour wax her coochie. Jeez.
I do. I need to wax my coochie. I'm just saying.
There you go.
Sorry.
There's some self-care for you and Johnny. What?
That's right. That's for Valentine's Day. That's
yikers.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. But it could be little things too.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that violent as waxing the coochie. It could be a little more calm, like what I'm gonna do, which is grow my bush, my 70s style bush, let her go, and take a nap. Okay, I think we just swam up from the overwhelm pool. Sorry, we're dying here. This is the best kind of self-care as well. So this was my
That's
number
right.
one
Laughter.
self-care was.
I was afraid to even bring up waxing of the bush, but hey, I love it. See where it takes us? I can always count on you. Let's do it.
Girl, if you're gonna throw it down, I'm gonna take it and run. Okay,
That's
this is a
right,
fucking
let's do
relay race.
That's
okay,
right. Oh God, the best.
this, oh my gosh.
Bush. You're
Oh
killing me.
girl.
Oh
It's
God.
we're in the dead of winter, honey. So that shit's real. I'm just saying. It'd be like, whoa, is that an animal down there? What is that? What's happening?
Oh my God, stop.
I'm sorry, I'm Indian too. Okay, so that shit grows exponentially fast. Holy shit, what's happening? Whoa, okay, so this is called a mood changer. Oh, I so needed that, honey. Thank you so much, ma'am. I needed a good laugh. I needed it so bad. I was just
God, I can't even see.
struggling.
Oh, me too. Hallelujah. That was so good.
So this is another opposite thing between Mayume and I. She doesn't like to cook. I love to cook. I have a 70s bush. She does not. Okay. Just make a list, people. If you're making a list, that yeah, they already have it. Oh, sweet Lord,
Great.
help us.
Light
Okay.
workers.
Well, that light workers unite. What team are you on?
Oh my God. I am so sorry for the male listeners right now, if there are any. So
if there are,
yeah, man, that is just killing me. If maybe they turned it off or they turned it up, I don't know.
Oh God, I don't even know.
Woo.
Well,
gosh.
on that note, I
Yes.
think I just have to tell you how much I love you and how much I appreciate you and our time together to just move me through the fucking ocean of overwhelm.
That's right. Thank you.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. But if you're laughing in the water, you drown. So you're thinking,
Oh my God.
let's see, make it. My bronchitis, you're cold for laughing.
Yeah.
Woo.
I think we got up high enough. We got ourselves up high enough. We were treading water. Yeah.
We were
and
holding on to each other. It's laughing yes, it's all good.
Yeah. Wait till you guys see this card too. This card is fucking, it's amazing.
Magical. I love it.
And Mayume, the designer, she's so talented. She designed this
all together. We did it all
multiple layers. Well, I mean, yes, but yeah, very, very talented human. And I love you so much for that.
I love you so. This was so great. And I want everyone to know, if you're listening, you guys got to get to our Lightworker Sister Circles. So there's a link, we can sign up. We're still working on the final touches of the web page. So that has all the information, all the meat to the bones. But Saturday, March 18th is our first sister circle. So we're accepting seats for 20 women, and this is for when we're going to gather. And the theme of the first one is connection.
Yay.
And we're going to do some chakra balancing, connecting with our bodies, connecting with each other. We're also going to open up our clairs. I think so it's a 4 circle quarterly circles. So each one, and I know we've talked about in the past, but connection. And then it's June 24th is going to be manifestation. And then September 23rd is going to be liberation. And then December 2nd is celebration. And so we really hope you listeners, any one of you guys in the Seattle area, this is all in person. Come join us these Saturday evenings to really connect with each other, have a great time, high vibe, opening up all your psychic selves and be with us. 20 seats. I'm so excited for all this to be together.
20 beautiful souls. We cannot wait. It's going to be divine. If you're called to come, please reach out to us anytime, and we'd love to answer more questions. But we are so super excited to get these going. Now that we can meet again in person, there'll be some raffles. We might we'll have a lot of group discussion. I mean, it's just going to be so juicy, some meditation. And some of the circles will even have some we'll have different modalities for healing. So, I mean, we've really put a lot of love into these, and I cannot wait to have you. So,
and we will have our oracle cards there for sale.
yeah.
So
Yep.
that you can bring and use and start really connecting with them. So let's end on that. Just thank you so much, Manjeet, for making me feel better and allowing me to kind of release some of those cluttered thoughts that keep me in overwhelm. And now I feel lighter and I just laughed my ass off. So that was good.
I love you so much. Of course.
I love you more.
I'm just not sure that I can't Instagram post, like
a bald coochie or a furry coochie.
We'd be canceled so hard. Maybe I'll just put a picture of a beaver up. And those of you who have been privileged enough to listen to this, you'll know exactly what's going on. Okay, that'll be our little secret.
Oh my God, yes. How many likes will we get on the beaver? I love it. That's the best. All right.
All right.
Thanks for listening. Love you more. We'll talk later. Okay,
Namaste.
bye.